What's this? A letter for me.
Welcome to another episode of Remember the Great Sports Through the Mail Thursdays. Today I'm going to go through 3 envelopes I recently got back in the mail. So the first one is postmarked from the Chicago area, and it is a return from former Chicago Bear great offensive lineman Ted Albrecht on 1, 2, 3, and a 4th. And if you guys recall, I picked up a lot of vintage football cards about a year and a half ago, and I've just been sending them out lately and just getting a few back in the mail. So let me tell you about Ted Albrecht and his career in football. Albrecht, a Illinois native, played his college football at California, Berkeley. He was selected in the first round with the 15th pick overall by the Chicago Bears in the 1977 draft. He immediately became a contributor to the Bears, and he would play as an offensive lineman for 75 of the games that he played in his career as a starter, overall appearing in 77 games total through his career. Unfortunately, after the 1983 season, some back injuries forced Albrecht into retirement. It was an injury that he felt that he could not come back from, and after his playing career, he actually started a traveling agency, and he began providing color commentary for Northwestern University, which is in Evanston, on their radio. So since his retirement, he shifted to WGN AM radio in 1996 after the station picked up the Northwestern commentary. And since the WGN pickup of Northwestern football, Albrecht is still doing the radio announcing for Northwestern football. So even though his career was cut short due to injury, he got into the traveling agency business and then continued his love of football by being a commentator. So if you're in the Chicago area and want to listen to Northwestern football, odds are you're probably going to hear Ted Albrecht being one of the announcers still to this day. So that's a pretty cool, neat trivia fact. All right, moving on to the next one. So this next one actually is from Chicago as well, and this is a teammate of Albrecht's on the other side of the ball, and this is Chicago Bear great Mark Hartenstine on 1, 2, a 3rd, and a 4th. And Hartenstine is one of those all-time great Bears. He was named to the top 100 Bears of all time, and I'll tell you why. Hartenstine, a Pennsylvania native, played his college football at Penn State University. He was selected in the 1975 draft by the Chicago Bears in the second round with the 31st pick. From 1975 to 1986, Hartenstine was a force on the defensive side of the ball for the Chicago Bears. He actually played almost his entire career with the Bears, with the exception of 1987, where he played one season with the Minnesota Vikings. Well, something noteworthy about Hartenstine is that he was the oldest player on the 1985 Bears Super Bowl championship team. So, if you guys remember the Super Bowl shuffle, with the Fridge, Walter Payton, Richard Dent, of course Mike Ditka, Hartenstine was the oldest player on that team. So over his career, a 13-year career, Hartenstine appeared in 184 games, starting 140 of them, playing for mainly the Bears. By the time he was with the Vikings, he was not a starter, as he was 34 years old at the time. But this guy played in 184 total games, which is amazing for a football player to last that long, for that long of time, because it's a very, during that era, that was a very grueling area for a player to be playing in. So one thing that I want to point out is, I don't know if there's anybody that ever comes across my channel that signs autographs, former athletes or anything, but I just wonder why sometimes they sign in different colors. when it's the same request. I don't understand why you sign in black and blue, or you just don't sign in blue or all black. I just don't understand the thought process with that. I mean, I understand if you sign one and the Sharpie's dying, but obviously in this case, both of them are, pretty strong looking Sharpies in my opinion. But I'm not complaining. I'll take them in black, blue, pink, or purple, whatever. But I just don't understand why, when you're signing cards, why you would switch pins in the middle of signing cards. So, anyways, moving on to the next one. And the next one is postmarked from Minnesota. And it is none other than former Minnesota Viking quarterback great Tommy Kramer on 4 of 4 in black Sharpie. So he's consistent. And let me tell you a little bit about Tommy Kramer and his playing career. So Tommy Kramer, a Texas native, attended Robert E. Lee High School in San Antonio. He led his high school team to a Texas state title, and then would later move on to Rice University in nearby Houston to play collegiately. While at Rice, he had success on the field, which led the Minnesota Vikings in 1977 to select Kramer in the first round, the 27th pick overall, with the Vikings. Well, in 1977, he would be donned the heir apparent to Fran Tarkington as his replacement, and he would eventually slide into games in a starting role. Well, it wasn't until 1979 that he would be the full-time starter for the Vikings. He would garner the name 2-Minute Tommy, as he got a reputation for mounting comebacks in the fourth quarter with the Minnesota Vikings throughout his career. Hampered by some injuries throughout his career, Kramer would be quarterbacking for the Vikings from 1977 to 1989. So over a decade as the quarterback for one organization. In 1990, he would sign with the New Orleans Saints and just appear in one game with the Saints. He made the Pro Bowl in 1986. He also was the passing rate leader in 1986 as well. In college, he was an All-American in 1976, and he was named to the 50 greatest Vikings of all time. He was elected to the class of 2012 in the College Football Hall of Fame. After his playing career, it says that he moved back and forth between Texas and now resides in Minnesota, and that he conducts many youth camps with football after his playing career, so he's still involved in the game and coaching and teaching, I guess you would say, football. So that's pretty cool to see that he still does that to this day. Very happy to add Tommy Kramer to the collection. I'm also very happy to add Mike Hartenstine. It's autographed to my collection, as I had never gotten him before. One of the greatest Bears of all time. Also happy to add Ted Albrecht as well, who was another great Bear. Unfortunately, like I said, he just had his career cut short due to injuries. I hope you learned a little bit about these somewhat obscure football players from the late 70s, early 80s. I know if you're a hardcore Bears or Vikings fan, you obviously know these guys, but some of the viewers may not realize how good these guys really were. So, if you'd like to learn more about their careers, definitely click in the link below. I want to thank you for taking the time to join me for another Through the Mail Thursday episode. I look forward to your comments below, and as always, happy collecting.